Welcome, everybody, to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, America's #1 podcast for new real estate investors, where we know that finding discounted properties is the most proven path to financial freedom. I am your host, Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, and I am telling you, if I can do it, so can you. So let's get started. Let's start off this podcast with a fact. Here's a fact that are around the country. All right. This is from East Coast to West Coast, from North to South. The fact is 80% of brand new real estate wholesalers get their first wholesale deals from driving for dollars. All right. We don't have to overcomplicate this business. Listen, there are ugly properties on the streets. We need to go out and we need to find them, and we need to have a quality conversation with that property owner and see if they would consider an offer. That's why my guest on this podcast, I'm very excited about this, because we're going to really get nitty gritty. We're going to really ask some tough questions, but more importantly, we're going to find out what makes the best driving for dollars methodology, strategy, whatever it is. I'm so excited to introduce from Deal Machine. You guys all know it, the #1 real estate app out there, Deal Machine, Mr. Matt Kemp. Matt, say hello. Matt, say hello.
Hey, thanks again, Brent. Thanks. I appreciate you having me on and excited to chat today, man.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to have you on here because things in this space seem to be exploding. Right? The technology, the information that we can get. It seems like any property that's out there that is in distress, we can know about, but not only know about, but have the means to communicate with them. And I've been standing on top of mountains and rooftops, screaming out Deal Machine for the last 2.5 years. And the reason is because my team uses it. I do a lot of business from Deal Machine and being on using the app and pulling out the properties that we find driving for dollars and then reaching out. So I wanted to bring you on here and really help everybody out there that's watching and listening to this actually understand how to use this app most effectively, because I think it's one of the most important tools that we have in our tool belt.
Yeah. And Brent, thanks again. I really appreciate the kind words there, man. I mean, everything that we're doing is to help people like you who it's, the goal is like, hey, you guys are real estate investors that are obviously ready to take action. Like our technology, it's very much focused on those people who are wanting to get out there, wanting to talk to people, want to actually get in touch with people, whether it be, phone call, mailer, text, like whatever the marketing channel might be. The first step is to build that list and to get in front of people that are not getting bombarded with marketing ideally already. Like you can stand out in front of other investors and not have to compete for their eyeball, for the property owner's eyeballs, but rather try to find properties that no one else is targeting. And that's really why we believe that driving for dollars is the #1 way to find leads like that.
Well, listen, the fact is, this isn't a crazy business. This isn't rocket science. There are distressed properties out there, and we can find them every single day if we're willing to go out there. And like you said, if you get out there and you're not competing against a bunch of different offers, guess what? You make more on those deals. If you're just negotiating with the seller, and this goes back to your point of saying, you're building a custom list here. Right? You're going out there with your efforts and finding these properties that you can't just download online. You have to put a little work behind this.
For sure. And that's another reason, like we love teaming up with you too, Brent, because it's something where you are preaching, to the choir, where it's like, hey, you got to get out there, you got to take action, you got to talk to people. Like this is a technology that, the people who are going to find the most value from this are the ones who are listening to people like you, giving world-class knowledge around how to do the rest of, they're educating themselves on real estate investing. And we're a technology that's not going to do the hard work of them actually having those conversations, but we're going to help enable them to be as effective as possible, save as much time as possible, and have the best ROI, meaning saving the most marketing dollars as possible while doing it.
Love it. And we talked before we started this podcast, and I said, listen, Matt, I want to go over the top 5 reasons why people should be driving for dollars, right? What are the top 5 reasons? Because I wanted to get into the methodology of it before we get into, oh, go use this app, right? I didn't want to do that. Like, listen, if you're listening to this, I want you to use whatever app, whatever technology you want to use. But I'm just telling you that it is absolutely important to build your driving for dollars list. Now, I prefer Deal Machine. My team prefers Deal Machine because it's the easiest and the best to use. But like, why should people, besides just building a custom list, let's give them a couple other reasons to go out there and brave driving around in some maybe rougher neighborhoods and or doing this virtually. Like, let's talk about the advantage of driving for dollars.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think everything we talk about can be tied back to, in general, that idea of like, hey, you're going to be out there finding distressed properties, finding properties that for one reason or another aren't being taken care of. You can offer those people a solution where you can say, hey, I'm here, I'm a local investor. I'm, live down the street. I drove by. Here's why I reached out. Here's what I saw. You can get very specific in terms of those details, And that's going to really help you stand out and help you build the rapport with them, help you build, help you become, like, known and trusted by them, because they know that you actually are approaching it with a way to, offering a way to help and saying, hey, here's why I thought I should reach out, and see if they're in a situation where you being able to purchase that property is going to be a win-win, something that's going to be helpful to them. And then also helpful, a great investment in the end. So I think no matter what the number one reason is, like, hey, you're getting in front of properties that no one else knows about, and you can do it in a way that is very, very detailed. And you can make your outreach very data driven, very focused, and saying, hey, here's why I'm reaching out. So
I love it. And to your point, I mean, this is our inventory. Like, if we're at a store, these houses are our inventory. We should know what's out there. We should become obsessed with some of the worst properties that are in our neighborhoods, because those are the best deals. The beautiful thing is, the worst properties that are in the neighborhoods that surround all of us, is that at some point they got to make the decision. One, they got to sink a ton of money into fixing that up, a ton of capital, a ton of finances to go in and fix up that property if they want to make it livable, if they want to sell it for top dollar, whatever it is, or, which is more likely, 95% of the time, they sell it to a cash buyer. And if you know where these properties are and you become obsessed with it, not only are you like, is that on your radar, but you've got different ways to try to get a hold of the owner and build that relationship. You can talk to it. You could get their phone number. You could skip trace them, call them, ask them if they would consider an offer. You can go to the door. You can mail them. You can handwrite them. You can leave a handwritten message at their door. You could talk to their neighbors. You can be obsessed with what I would call your stalker list of properties that need the most love in your community, where after you get the deal done and that property has a dumpster in front of it, the whole neighborhood is applauding you for finally, fixing up that blemish that has been on the streets. So I love it. So getting nitty gritty in your community, getting out there, building a custom list. Let's get some more. What about hiring people? What about scaling this? What about getting other people to build this list for you?
Yep, I agree. Like, I was going to say, that's actually in terms of, why you should be thinking about driving for dollars, it's just the scalability of it. Like, I think from a driving perspective, like, I would highly recommend you getting out there and doing it yourself. Showing off a few things in the app here as well to kind of.
By the way, but real quick, Matt, not to cut you off there, but if you were just listening to this podcast, definitely check it out on the YouTube channel, Brent Daniels Real Estate on the YouTube channel, because you can see this app and really get a feel of what Matt's pulling up here and some of the kind of advanced features that they have. It's really cool. It's definitely worth a watch. So definitely check that out. But go ahead, Matt.
Yeah. Trying to do kind of a little demo here in real time as we talk it through. But I think being able to scale this strategy, that's one of the top reasons I think people should be thinking about driving for dollars too. Is not only is it going to give you this great list, but then this is something that as you get used to driving yourself, you can easily pull other people into that idea and pitch them the idea of like, hey, this could be a pretty nice side income for quite a few people. Or, hey, if you were looking to get into real estate investing, pitch them on the idea of even mentoring them. Like pitch them on the idea of, hey, if they're a close family member or friend or somebody else who has talked to you about real estate investing before, and they've seen you do it, and they've seen you getting into it, you can say, hey, if you drive for me, any lead that you bring me, like, yeah, I'm going to pay you to drive. I'm going to pay you an hourly, typically we say, 10 to 15 bucks an hour, get them out there actually driving for you. I'll pay you per qualified lead that I actually market to, so you can offer them that as well. And then even with that overall pitch, you can say, hey, if you bring somebody to me that gets into a negotiation with me, I'll bring you in on that process and show you how I'm analyzing the property, how I'm having those conversations, how I'm, why I'm making that offer, like why it's an attractive investment. Pitch it as kind of a mentorship opportunity too. Yep. So I think you can use this, both to drive around yourself and start to build that amazing list, but then to scale that idea. Our goal was to make technology to make that as easy as possible. Like you can actually manage, if you're on our enterprise level plan, you can manage up to like 300 drivers. So, you can have an entire army out there driving for you if you really.
By the way, you have people around the country that are doing that.
Yeah.
They're building these giant like fleets of cars out there, of other people that are essentially bird dogs for them. I mean, that's kind of an old school term, but I mean, it's a real term of people going out there and finding opportunities for you. And they're like, instead of the old school days where they're like, hey, here's a piece of paper and an address, go after this one because it needs some work. All of a sudden, they're putting it into the app real time. You're tracking where they're going real time. You know who added that property to this. I mean, listen, I've had up to 6 people here locally in Phoenix that literally, Matt, this is really interesting. They would come in for an hour a week. I would give them free real estate wholesaling training, an hour a week, to go and drive for me every single week. They had to drive for me 5 hours a week. They would go and add all the properties to it. All of a sudden, after a few months, I've got every ugly property in the whole market. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. And by the way, for the ones that got us the deals that we closed, we could find out which driver got that deal for us, which one clicked the button in the app. Not button, but you get it. Clicked it in the app, and we got to reward them either by lunch or by just praise or whatever else. I mean, man, the technology is bananas. It's absolutely bananas. It's incredible.
Well, I mean, like you said, it's not a new idea to drive around and look for deals, but what we try to do is to make you as efficient as possible and use technology to enable that, where you can actually manage that many people out there, and you can, within the app, track their route and see, what deals that they added and how can I compensate them because, they've driven, an hour this time and an hour and a half this time, they added this many deals, I marketed to this many deals. Like, it helps you manage them more properly, and actually give you technology to be able to manage and make the idea of scaling a driving team something that's actually attainable because it's using technology to do that. But the idea of bird dogs is a proven strategy that's been around forever. It's just now we're using technology to make that actually happen. Same thing with mailers, like the idea of direct mail, like that's not the sexiest, newest marketing idea, but it's something that we've tried to make it extremely automated and as effective as possible by doing that in the app as well. So I think, the idea of driving for dollars, all this stuff, they're all proven strategies, but we want to give you technology to actually scale that and do that at a much higher level than in the past. I mean, like even David on our team, when he started, when he founded the company, like he was originally writing down addresses and just doing the whole driving for dollars thing the old school way. It would take him, he measured it was like 20-25 minutes per property to find the right contact and, try to call him or try to mail it or whatever. Now through our technology that we built it to make it literally 7 to 10 seconds so you can do all that. So it's like,
well, listen, the first 20, 25, 30 deals that I did were driving for dollars. I didn't have any money. I was just writing down addresses and hoping to either door knock or go to the doors or try to get the number from the neighbors or, try to piece together skip tracing. Now we've got it all. I mean, you've got it all right there. There's really no excuse to not get a hold of these properties out there that really need some work because everything's already done for you. The best part is, and I'm going to plug here because I want people to use this, is you give the Wholesaling Inc., the Rhino Tribe, the TTPers out there, the biggest discount available if they use the coupon code TTP. And are you plugging here and are you affiliate? Absolutely. I love this thing. I absolutely love Deal Machine. We use it. And the people that sign up and join TTP, join my program, use it, and they get deals. I mean, I'm pushing it because it works. I'm pushing it because it would be nonsense for me to tell you don't use a driving for dollars, don't go after driving for dollars lists. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, use TTP as a discount code for Deal Machine. You get it at 20% off, which is absolutely incredible. Instead of $49, it's 40 or whatever it is. So it's absolutely incredible. And you got to get it today if you don't already have it. I know a lot of people watching this have, but you got to get it today. Make sure you get the discount on it. And it's beautiful. We use it all the time. We use it every day. We're using it right now, probably.
That's what I was going to say. I love talking to you, where you're saying like, hey, we truly get the value out of this. Like we're seeing real ROI from what we're doing here. We're making things happen. We're talking to people by using driving for dollars as kind of our way to generate those leads and to start those conversations. So that's what we love teaming up with you too, Brent, is to see like, hey, the people that you're talking to, they're in the right mindset. They're out there to try to make things happen. And we just want to give them the technology to make what they're doing much more effective.
I had my aunt going out driving for dollars and she was so pumped because you get those badges, right? You get the badges when you add different things and it pops up. She was feeling so great. She felt cheated one time. She didn't get a badge. It's crazy. And then I have the young kids that were driving for me and learning how to wholesale. And they were like, this is like Pokemon Go because they've got all these other properties in this thing. You know, now it's got pre-foreclosures. Now it's got tax default. Now it's got vacant properties. It's all there in the app. You can literally just be driving around and see, okay, what properties are in distress. And you can either go to the doors or you can find some other way to talk to them. And it's just, it's incredible.
Yeah. Have some fun with it. And, like I said, I mean, we, getting back to like kind of the driving idea, like, being able to talk to people who are, family members and get them signed up on here or whoever it is that it's going to be your driver. I mean, our basic plan, you get one deal finder, which is a bird dog. And then, our pro plan, you get 2, our enterprise plan, you get up to 300. That's the one that is focused on creating that driving armada if you want to really scale it, but the deal finder, that's your bird dog that you can add to your team within the app right here. You track their routes, see where they're headed. You can see, what the ROI of what they've done. Yep. And then you can actually, if you're on our enterprise plan, you don't need to do this, if you only have 1 or 2 drivers, like, you can just post on Facebook and pretty quickly find somebody who's going to be willing to be added to your team. But, this recruit drivers button right here, this is something where we really wanted to help people build a funnel. And if they're going to scale their driving team, we want to make it as easy as possible for them to do that. And see the full value out of this technology. So if you go in here, you can actually scroll down. This is something it works in the app, on your phone or via desktop as well. But you can customize a link here. This is just dealmachine.com/team/Matt. If you go to that right now, it's a landing page live that you can anybody on our enterprise plan gets to generate that custom link. And when they share that out, it's pitching the idea to people of here's why you should drive for dollars with me. Here's how you can make a great side income. It's a lead capture form for you. So that way, if you post that on Indeed or if you post that on Craigslist or wherever the heck you're posting it, when people start to come in and start to show interest, you'll be able to capture, their email information, interact with them there. And then once they sign up for your team and you actually have them on board, you actually get training videos through here too, where you can require them to go in and watch, it's like 8 or 9 training videos here, teaching them how to use Deal Machine and how to drive for dollars and just the entire, process. So that way you don't have to do any of this yourself. Our technology makes it easy for you to capture the lead and then train the lead up. And then from there, they're ready to get out there and start generating leads for you. And they start coming to you.
Love it. Love it. And it's really interesting that you guys came out and then boom, everybody started using it and really doing well with it. And now it's like there's so many other people like chasing you guys, right? Chasing you guys to put together a Driving for Dollars app to find it. And listen, some of these people are my like really good friends, like best friends have done it and push it. And I still push Deal Machine. I mean, why are you guys? I know why, but I want to explain. I want you to explain it so it doesn't sound like this is like a commercial for you guys the whole time. But why are you guys the 500-pound gorilla in the room? You know what I mean? Like, why are you guys the best? What sets you guys apart than everybody else, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, one to begin with, we're such a customizable platform. Like we're something that you can, we have kind of something for everybody where you can come in here. If you're a beginner, that's great. Start in the map here. You can see, start driving around. Like literally, you can walk outside your house, get in your car if you have one, and start driving your neighborhood and start adding properties to your list and start marketing those people. And especially if you're using like a discount code or going through Brent, like you're going to be able to get free stuff already and start making things happen. So it's extremely easy for the beginner to use it. It's also customizable, so that way it's complex enough that people who want to build an entire 100-person team out there driving for them, we in my opinion, the usability to be able to do that through the app and really easily interact with it and easily make it an extremely complex piece of software, but still easy to use, is there. Like it's very customizable to be able to cater to newbies, cater to people who need to scale, who want to be on our enterprise level and put thousands of leads in their CRM a month. And then I think over time, our goal, like we've added the leads feature because that's a CRM to easily be able to follow up with people and manage your pipeline. And, we have our list engine now, which is really an easy way for you to be able to pull a list and be able to, we want you to drive for dollars, but also give you an opportunity to use our data to the fullest and pull a list in there and market to them too. So we're customizing.
This is those distressed lists that we were talking about.
Right.
What do you got? You got vacant, you got pre-foreclosure, you got
you can do, let's see.
Probate in there.
You've got
there it is.
Vacant, owner of multiple properties, behind on taxes, pre-foreclosed, foreclosed, bank owned, absentee owned.
Beautiful. Will you do some just for anybody that has never seen what a lead looks like pull it up and look at all the information that pulls up when you click on, you're literally driving around, you're next to a house, you click on the map that's on this app and it pulls up whether or not they live there. Look at this. It pulls up their name. It pulls up their mailing address. It pulls up, it gives you the ability to skip trace right there. I mean, you can mail these people right there. Look at that. Sale date, sale price, improve. I mean, it's got everything there that you're really looking for. And it's all the information. Listen, I say this all the time, man. If you drive by an ugly house and if there is a sign with a phone number on it, and all you have to do is call that number and ask them if they would consider an offer, and you get the shot to interview for the opportunity to get that deal, which could pay you $5, $10, $15, $25,000, and you don't make that call, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's what this is like. This is like, to me, what it's like, Matt, is it's like all of those old school for sale by owner signs in front of an ugly house that has a phone number on it. And literally all you have to do is call it. That's what it is. You guys change it. And that's where we're at now. Every house, every ugly house in the market, in the country, has a big for sale by owner sign that has the phone number on it because you guys provide the information right there on your phone in the app. It's incredible. It's incredible.
And that's what, like, this isn't data that's new necessarily. Like you could you could look up the county assessor records and like figure out how to get in touch with somebody and go through that whole process. But we just wanted to make that technology to make exactly what you're talking about. It's simple, easy, efficient, like actually scalable. So take
the steps out of it.
Yeah,
you take the steps. That's what I said. That's one of those things. That's the psychology of humans. If you don't make that decision to make that call in like 5 seconds, guess what? You don't make that call. You don't make that call. You wait till you get home. You wait till you're in your office. You wait till you get pumped up to make that call. You don't make that call. You do it right there in front of the house, 5 seconds. There's a video on this YouTube channel of me and David Lecco driving around. He pulls it up to an ugly house, and I called him right then. You have to do that. That's how you start building momentum in this. That's how you start getting the opportunities and building your lead pipeline and finding these opportunities. It's not difficult. There are people that have distressed properties. You get the information. There's no more hurdles. There's no more hurdles.
And I really appreciate the endorsement, Brent. I mean, I think like in general, no matter what we talk about here, like the list engine, love that. It's super powerful. We have a ton of data you can leverage, but in the end, like I think what makes us unique is that driving for dollars approach, and that we're anchored in that. Like if you don't believe in the idea of driving for dollars as a valuable strategy, we're not going to be your best option. But if you want to scale that, if you want to add a team, if you want to make an app, if you want to use an app that's super easy to use for newbies, but also complex enough that it can scale and be the best solution for somebody who's driving at scale, that's what we've been built to do. And like the CRM that we built is helping do that. The skip tracing is to help you get in touch with people. The mailers is to help you automate that, your outreach. All of that like is anchored in the ability to think about driving for dollars as your go-to strategy, and then customize technology solutions to fit your skill level and to fit the level your team is at.
Love it. Love it. That's perfect. That is perfect. So give them some advice, Matt. They download the app. They get it today, whatever it is. They get it. They download it. What's the first thing they should do?
Yeah. So I think to even begin with, like this dashboard here, this is actually a brand new feature here. So I wanted to show this off really quick. This is live now. It's really, we're focused on everything we're doing. Like, when you set goals, it should be metrics based. It should be something where you understand like the funnel that you're creating there's the top of the funnel here that you need to feed with leads. And then there's different conversions down that funnel. So there's, getting in front of people, then, how many you actually market to reach out to, how many actually have a conversation with you, how many of those turn into a negotiation and an offer and an actual close. And to get to that end bottom metric of a close, you need to think about the top of that funnel and how you feed this entire thing. So that's what we created this dashboard for, was to come in and understand, okay, if you want the top of the funnel to be, in this example, it's okay, 20K is what I'm aiming for a month to bring in top line. I'm going to guesstimate that I'm getting a 10K assignment fee. We're wholesaling these deals, 10K a deal per month, per deal. And then I have 2 drivers in the app driving around. So that's kind of, the baseline metrics I'm assuming here. If you're on the YouTube video, you can see that. Thinking through that means, okay, I need to land 2 deals per month, or, the app spits that back. And then we actually have a default setting in here, which is a pretty conservative ratio, I think, a really realistic goal to hit, which I'd love to hear your experience on what your guys' lead to close contract ratio is, because it varies per market. But what we've done here is 300 to 1. So we're saying, all right, 300 properties, which anybody who picks up the app for the first time, that's kind of the magic number to aim for, is saying, okay, I need to add 300 properties that are qualified distressed properties. I drove around, I saw them, I added them to my app, or I have somebody that I hired to drive around and do that for me, added to the app, and I started marketing to them. And we're saying every 300, usually that's the kind of threshold that we've seen people really hit, where there's plenty of people who add 4 or 5 properties and get their first deal. That can happen. But that 300 is a really good conservative amount to start with, and say, all right, make that your first goal, add your first 300 properties and market to each of them at least 3 times, 3 postcards, or call them up or text or whatever it might be, and start there and see what happens. And, be able to, this initial dashboard helps put you in that mindset and show you that, okay, if you've got 2 people driving around for you and they're adding 12 properties an hour, which I don't think that's very, very reasonable to add. We've had people do up to 60 an hour if they're, crazy at it. But, if you're adding 12 properties per hour, you've got 2 people driving around, you're trying to hit the, 600 leads a month right here to get to those 2 deals a month. Then that means you need to drive around about 7 hours a week. So about an hour a day for each of these drivers. And our calculator spits all that information back to say, okay, in the end, the main metric you need to think about is the number of leads you're adding per month. Here's how many hours we recommend you driving around to get to that number. And here's what your profit's going to look like at the end if you hit all of those metrics. If you followed me there.
100%. Listen, we're right there. I would say that we're just a little bit under there, maybe 275, 260, 275 properties to deal. But listen, everybody that is watching and listening, did you just see what he did there? There are steps to this. This is a system. This is a system. Follow the system. This is the plan. Just go out and find ugly houses and have conversations, quality conversations with the homeowner, and you win. It is impossible to lose. It is impossible. This is flawless. I'm telling you, it's impossible. If you have enough quality conversations with these distressed property owners, you win, you win, you win, you win. Here is the simple path. Unbelievable. I've never seen it broken down that perfectly before, Matt. This is going to blow people's minds. People's minds are going to be blown off. If you don't listen to me. I'm gonna hit it while it's hot. Deal Machine, coupon code TTP. TTP. Put in the coupon code. Get it now. If you don't have it, you're being crazy.
Yeah. I think like if you're brand new to Deal Machine, that's where you start. Is you try to think about how do I get to those first 300 properties. This calculator will help put you in the right mindset. You might not even know what to put on the slider right here, but just know that those 300 properties are where you want to at least begin with, is make that your goal to put in here. So that means get out, start driving around, go to the map feature, start to see. Oh, it's kind of walking us through, the actual tutorial here now too. But yeah, I think the goal here is to go into the map feature, start driving around, start to get to that 300 number, and don't just add the property, because I see plenty of people who, where they're going to fall off is if they need to consistently take action to get to that 300 number. And then they need to consistently follow up on that action where they're not just adding the properties, but they're actually either skip tracing, giving them a call, or sending them mailers, like actually hit the start mail button and get over that initial, there could be some fear there of like, oh, I'm gonna have to talk to people. I'm gonna get people responding to this. And sometimes you will crash and burn. And like sometimes you'll have an awkward conversation, and that's okay. Like you're getting the rep in. You're also like you're going to get more confident the more that you do this. And every time you get a no, you're just back at the place you were before with a no. So continue to work on this and follow through with great action to add those leads, and then follow through with great action to actually market to those leads and have conversations happen.
Love it. Love it. Matt, thank you so much. That was absolutely incredible. Listen, guys, I use anything that I tell you guys about or get a discount code is because I use it in my business. It is the most effective. I've tried everything. I try it all the time. I get hit up all the time to test things out. My team gets to hit up all the time to test things out. We try it because we want to use the best tools so that we can get the biggest deals in our marketplace. And then, the extra bonus part of that is I get to speak about it and share it with everybody and make sure that they're being successful. You can tell by the way that Matt has not only broken down what they got here, but if you just play around with the app, which there is a free trial, you play around with the app, right? There's a free trial.
Yeah. Free 7-day trial.
You play around with the app. You will see they are doing everything so that you can win. So it's incredible. Anyway, Matt, incredible. Thank you. I love working with you guys. I think that you guys have an incredible heart for this business. You want people to be successful. And thanks for being on the podcast.
Yeah, always, Brent. I appreciate the energy you bring and how much passion you have for people to actually get out there and make things happen. So feel free, anyone listening to this, if they want to use me as a resource, just matt@dealmachine.com. Feel free to reach out, and I'll make sure you're taken care of in terms of how to use this best, how to make sure you're getting the full value out of that trial, and get out there and start making things happen.
Awesome. That's it. That's it for us guys here at on this podcast. And I encourage you, as I sign off, as I always do, for you to go out there and talk to people. Until next time, see you. Love you.